Hi friends, welcome to Invited Back with Sabbath Kapahu. I hope that this space finds you well and seeking solidarity, because I know you will find some here today. If you're following along the podcast weekly, I took a little break last week after someone gave me permission to stop. And I can't explain to you exactly how I felt in that moment, but there was something about the relief and the weight that was lifted that I didn't even know I was carrying. When they gave me permission to stop striving, stop falling back, and permission to dream and plan for the future, I was filled with excitement and hope. So today on my podcast, I'm going to talk about two things. Don't worry, it's still going to be short and sweet. First of all, I just want to speak that into your heart today. Whatever it is that you are working towards and constantly striving at, I want to give you permission to stop and reevaluate and dream again. It doesn't mean that we never return. It just means that for a moment, we let it go. And when we're ready, we pick it back up again. Today, we find ourselves in the middle of June 2021. We're still amidst a global pandemic, and we find ourselves in a time of transition. You know, summertime seems to signal seasons of transition, right? Grade school kids take pride in advancing to the next level. High school graduates, although this year was not what they expected, and I've been reading stories after story of disappointment and heartache, and maybe even more so of the parents whose kids graduated this year than the graduates themselves, as they do not get a traditional ceremony and all the things that used to come with graduation. But still, yet, that transitioning is happening as they take their steps into the quote-unquote real world. And it's also a transition that we as women become keenly aware of our body image as we worry about how to fit in to our summer wardrobe. I mean, the struggles are real and the transitions are always constantly happening. So whether we're planning ahead as we think about college tuition or kindergarten milestones, maybe a new job or a big move or a health and lifestyle change, the reality is that transition can be daunting. So two things again. This is your permission to stop. Even in the midst of that transition, just let it go for a minute and reevaluate. Give yourself space to dream. Give yourself space to get to know your greatest gift and what you have to give to the world. The reality is that transition is a battle for truth, and in the midst of change, that battle is hard. Unknown future, reaching for dreams, overcoming fears, these things are not to be taken lightly, and there are so many lies that can swirl around in the midst of transition. And speaking to the moms for a minute, or maybe for the rest of the time, our minds are constantly filled with thoughts about what is going to happen next. Perhaps even now, in the state of the world more than ever. We wonder how today's interactions will affect tomorrow's reactions. We question our worth and our value, our effectiveness and our ideals as we strive just to get through the day. I hear you, Mama. That struggle is real. And when we add a season of transition into the mix, our thought life intensifies 10 times over, and the reality of making it through to a success can feel further out of reach, right? Again, this is a reminder to stop, to let it go. That ceasing and striving to the things that you're trying to succeed at. It doesn't mean you never have to pick it up again, but give yourself space to dream and get to know your greatest gift. How do we encourage ourselves in this season of transition? This is what my encouragement to us today is, friends. Celebrate the little victories. Give yourself permission to make one decision at a time and watch the Lord work out the details. Again, I'll say celebrate the little victories and give yourself permission to make one decision at a time and watch the Lord work out the details. Trust yourself enough to continue training and loving your children even though it hurts. We know it says in Galatians, let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. We encourage ourselves in seasons of transition by strengthening ourselves in the Lord so that our hearts remain strong for the journey laid before us. We give our future over to the Lord day after day, morning after morning. Friends, I hope that you know you are not alone in all the thoughts and all the emotions that come with transitioning into a new season. My prayer is that you be strengthened through the Holy Spirit to receive and to give whatever the Lord has for you day by day. Don't spend today's grace on tomorrow or yesterday's worries. It is a day by day receiving of the grace that we need. And may you remember that you matter in this world. You matter in His kingdom. You are irreplaceable to your family. May God lead and guide your mind and your heart to love and lead and nurture according to His ways and His plan. You are the best there is for your family. Until next time. Aloha.